The number of electric vehicles on the road is on the rise, but the newest entry may surprise you just a little bit. I'm here with Jeff Jolin of Zero Motorcycles, and we're looking at their latest lineup. Jeff, can you tell me a little bit more about what it is that you do?
Yeah, so I'm with Zero Motorcycles. We're based out of Santa Cruz, California, and we build electric motorcycles. And we produced our first bikes in 2008. And what you're seeing here today is the 2015 model offering at the Vancouver Motorcycle Show.
So the number one question that we get about electric vehicles is, what sort of range do you get?
Right, so it varies on the model. So we have different models that have different battery sizes, but the street bike with the biggest battery will do about 300 kilometers around town, and then on the highway at highway speeds, it'll do about 150 kilometers.
So that's a fair amount of the day. Right. How long would I have to charge this for?
So that'll charge on standard 120 wall plug that everybody has at their house. It'll take about 10 hours or so, roughly.
So overnight, I could get this thing charged up and ready to go. Now, being a rider myself, I know that one of the things I look forward to is the bite ride-off, where you're actually accelerating. What's that like on a bike like this?
The acceleration on these is incredible. It's way more acceleration than a lot of the gas bikes have. The 2015 model SR, which is kind of our premium, race-style street bike, is 0 to 60 miles an hour in 3.2 seconds. And that bike has 67 horsepower and 106 foot-pounds of torque. So it's almost like being shot off the deck of an aircraft carrier when you hit the throttle. It's really something. Yeah.
So we've got a lot of power here, but what about sound?
They make a little bit of sound. It's kind of an electric motor sound, and as you get up to higher speeds, it's a little bit louder. At the slow speeds, it's not too loud. It's pretty quiet. But they make a very unique sound. Yeah.
So you said you started making these bikes in 2008. Can you tell me a little bit more about Zero as a company?
Sure. So, we started out, like I say, back in 2008, we started with a dirt bike model. And using a lot of just kind of off-the-shelf parts and the available technology that was there. And as we've grown as a company, we now offer 4 different models that are highway legal. The ranges are extended. Our first bikes had 19 horsepower. We're at 67 horsepower. The first bikes, the range was, everybody was happy when we could go 30 or 40 miles, and it's, now we're well above that. So it's really been neat to see the company grow. And I was one of the first people they hired, so I've kind of seen the whole growth. And the shows like this have been really interesting because it's been from, way back in the day where, everybody was kind of turning their nose up at you to where now, the booth is so busy you can barely get in here. So it's pretty neat. Yeah.
It's very cool stuff. So being in business for about 7 years, obviously a lot of progression in design. What's that been like? What has the design process been like?
Well, what a lot of it has been is it's been, I'm more on the sales side of it, but, the design side of it, we've got a great engineering team and, a lot of people that are really focused on specific things where, before we had a couple of guys that designed the whole bike. And now, we've got people that are specific mechanical engineers, electrical guys, designers. Just, we have an app for this bike that's a phone app, and you can actually dial the bike in and turn up the speed and all kinds of stuff. And we have a guy that develops the app and, a lot of, battery guys. And so a lot of people that are really specific to one part of the bike. And that's what's, really making what you see here today. Yeah.
Fair enough. So speaking of the bike, what are we looking at right here?
So this bike right here is the 2015 FX. So this is the bike, it's got the smallest batteries of the bikes that we have. This bike has a range of about 140 kilometers around town, and at highway speeds about 70 kilometers. Has a recharge time of about 7 hours. And this is a really fun bike. A lot of guys are riding this off-road like a dirt bike. It's a wheelie machine, really hard to keep the front wheel on the ground. It's really a lot of fun to ride. Yeah.
Very cool stuff. So what would this retail for?
This bike retails for, I'd have to double check. I think it's in the $14,000 range. Yeah.
So that is Zero Motorcycles. If people wanted to know more, where would they go?
So you can go to our website, zeromotorcycles.com. You can request a demo. We'll get in touch with you and put you in touch with the local dealer. We've got dealers throughout Canada. You can look at the locator on our website, and that'll point you to the closest dealer. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jeff. That is Zero Motorcycles, and we look forward to taking one for a ride.